As far as I can tell, man, there are at least two Joe Bidens. There's the real Joe Biden, the Joe Biden that actually exists, racist, cognitively struggling, habitual foreign policy disaster, lying, plagiarist. I mean, that Joe Biden, the real Joe Biden. And then there's the Joe Biden that somehow, through what might as well be freaking magic, the Joe Biden that 55% of Democrats still want to be president. I mean, there's proof of it literally everywhere. Go back in the archives, man. Watch his speech on the Senate floor where he literally calls black men predators on our streets. Read his old interview with his Delaware newspaper where he said that the federal government shouldn't hire gays because he viewed them as a security risk. It's everywhere. I mean, the proof of who this man really is everywhere. And if you've never, ever heard it, you've got to hear the account of Jill Biden's ex-husband. He says he's watched her become an elder abuser. And I'm going to show you that. But guys, join the fight. Help this channel continue to grow. Hit the like button, subscribe. It really, really does help a lot.
My parents went to see Psycho. Everybody knows where they went on their first date, right? I don't know. Look, I finally heard the full story from her first husband, a great guy named Bill Stevenson, who was married to Jill in the late 60s, early 1970s. And they were very young, and Jill had an affair with Joe while she was married to Bill. It's a fact. He's told the story. It checks out. And he doesn't blame Jill, quite frankly. They were both very young, and things happen in life. Life can be messy, and we're all imperfect. He doesn't have a problem with Jill, Bill Stevenson I'm talking about. He has a big problem with Joe. And again, not for moving in on his wife, these things, whatever, but for trying to destroy his life. You see, when Jill and Bill got divorced, got a little messy when Joe got involved. Joe insisted, according to Bill, and I totally believe in this, totally checks out, that she get rid of her lawyer and get another lawyer, a high-powered lawyer who was going to take Bill Stevenson and get everything that he got. Everything that he's got, they were going to give to Jill. Well, it almost worked out that way. But the judge had a sense that something was going wrong and wound up awarding Bill a pretty fair settlement. Jill and Joe essentially lost in court, and that embarrassed Joe. He's a big shot senator. He couldn't hook up his now wife with, well, you want the proof? I mean, I think this is the proof. Bill ran a place called the Stone Balloon, a famous saloon in more of a concert venue. Musicians came there. Bruce Springsteen played there. And he was doing very, very well until one day he got indicted. Yeah, U.S. versus Stevenson, the feds. So what was the deal? Was he dealing drugs? No. Was he, I don't know, Grand Theft Auto? No. William and George Stevenson, his brother, were accused of criminal liability for the $8,266 in unmade deposits, payroll deposits. And this is in the indictment. On April 21st of 1982, defendants were arraigned in this court for failing to make payments to the account for the first quarter in 1982, the first quarter of 1982. And they were actually arrested on April 8th, the first quarter of 1982, January, February, March. 3 weeks later, they're in federal court. The payment was 3 weeks late. Actually, it was 8 days late. Does that sound right to you? It sounds to me like Joe made it happen. I am convinced, and so is Bill Stevenson, and any rational person realizes that this is a corrupt family. And they're doing to President Trump what they did to poor Bill Stevenson. The word is that Jill and Hunter are demanding that Joe Biden stay in the race. Another president who resigned, Richard Nixon.
Isn't it something, man? The left, they got everything in the world to say about, character defects of Donald Trump, infidelity, this, that, and the other, whatever thing they can try and dig up, right? But never any mention of Joe. No mention of the fact that the good doctor who looks like she's now running the show was married when she got involved with Joe. I would bet you that not even 1% of the Biden faithful, if those people even still exist, even know that. And the same people who literally promise you that they know that Donald Trump is corrupt and he's a tyrant and just blah, 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 Russian asset, whatever. They won't say a word about literally any of this. They won't say a word about what appears to be Joe's habitual use of power to damage and attack his enemies. And that to me is remarkable stuff, man. It is really, it's sad when you think about it, man. It is just sad. The Democrat machine, they could have chosen anyone, and they chose a stupid, ailing, incompetent fool. And why? I mean, why would they choose Joe Biden? It's still, all these years in, it makes absolutely no sense. And what they're doing to the guy, you know, as much as I truly despise Joe Biden, it's sad. I mean, it is just sad. It's disgusting. It's concerning to see how powerful people are allowed to use that poor guy. But anyway, that's just my take, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.